What if one of the most ordinary parts of your daily routine suddenly became something you were genuinely afraid of? That is exactly the kind of bizarre but relatable concern Kelly Ripa has opened up about, joking that one everyday beauty habit could eventually be the end of her. The Live with Kelly and Mark star has never been shy about sharing the funny, awkward, and occasionally alarming details of her everyday life. But this time, Kelly's confession has caught attention because it involves something many people use without giving it a second thought: a luxurious shower oil. Kelly has reportedly become increasingly wary of the slippery product after worrying that one day she could lose her footing in the shower. And in classic Kelly fashion, she did not simply say she disliked the product. She took the joke much further, imagining exactly what her obituary might say. It is a funny story on the surface, but it also reveals something very familiar about Kelly. She has a talent for turning everyday annoyances into entertaining conversations. So why has Kelly suddenly decided that her beloved shower oil may have to go? And what exactly did she say about the habit she fears could one day cause serious trouble? Let's take a closer look. Kelly Ripa has built a career around talking openly about her life. Whether she is discussing family stories, beauty routines, marriage, aging, or the little frustrations of everyday life, she often finds a way to make even ordinary experiences entertaining. That is one reason viewers have connected with her for so many years. Kelly does not always present herself as someone who has everything perfectly under control. Instead, she frequently jokes about the realities of being a busy adult, a wife, a mother, and a television personality. Her latest confession follows that same pattern. This time, the subject is shower oil. For many people, shower oil is simply another part of a beauty routine. It can leave the skin feeling soft and moisturized, particularly when the weather is dry. But Kelly has apparently discovered a downside that has nothing to do with skincare. The problem is what happens when that oil ends up on the floor of the shower. And Kelly's imagination immediately went to the worst possible outcome. She joked that the slippery substance could eventually cause her to fall, suggesting that such an accident could become the defining detail of her obituary. That dramatic thought is what made the story so entertaining. Rather than quietly deciding that the product was too slippery, Kelly turned it into a full-blown prediction about her own future. The humor comes from the fact that the concern is actually understandable. A wet bathroom floor is already slippery. Add an oily beauty product, and the possibility of losing your footing becomes even more obvious. For someone like Kelly, who has spoken publicly about how busy her life can be, the idea of an everyday beauty ritual unexpectedly becoming dangerous is almost comically ironic. And that is precisely the kind of observation she has become known for. Kelly's personality on television is built around quick reactions and exaggerated storytelling. She can take a tiny detail and turn it into a memorable conversation. This particular story is no different. The shower oil itself is not necessarily the villain. The issue is how the product interacts with an already slippery environment. Kelly's concern, therefore, has a very simple logic behind it. She does not want her skincare routine to create a situation where she could slip and fall. And after joking about the possibility, she appears to be considering getting rid of the product altogether. That is where her comment about her obituary comes in. Kelly's line is funny because it combines something incredibly mundane with something extremely dramatic. Nobody expects a luxury beauty product to become the central character in a story about mortality. But Kelly has a way of making those contrasts work. The joke also reflects her broader approach to discussing beauty and aging. Over the years, Kelly has openly talked about skincare, cosmetics, and the effort involved in maintaining her appearance while working in front of cameras. She has never pretended that looking television-ready requires no work. But she also understands that beauty routines are supposed to make life easier, not more dangerous. And if a product is creating a potential hazard, perhaps it is simply not worth the trouble. There is another reason this story has resonated with people. Most people have had at least one household product that seemed useful until it created an entirely different problem. A slippery lotion, a bathroom rug that refuses to stay in place, a shampoo bottle that somehow makes the entire floor feel like an ice rink. These are small problems, but they are instantly recognizable. Kelly's story simply takes that everyday frustration and gives it celebrity-level drama. Instead of saying, "This product makes my shower slippery," the conversation becomes, "This product could be the end of me." That exaggeration is what makes the confession so memorable, and is also why fans often enjoy Kelly's candid comments. She does not always take herself seriously. Even when discussing something that genuinely worries her, she can find humor in it. That ability has become a major part of her appeal. For viewers who have watched Kelly for years, these stories can feel almost like conversations with a friend. She is not presenting some carefully manufactured lifestyle where every product is perfect and every routine works flawlessly. Instead, she is saying that sometimes you buy something luxurious and then realize it may be more trouble than it is worth. That is a much more relatable experience. The timing of the comments is also interesting because Kelly has recently been open about other everyday concerns involving beauty and personal care. She has previously discussed her dental health and undergone gum graft surgery after dealing with gum recession. That experience gave fans another glimpse into the less glamorous side of maintaining a camera-ready appearance. The surgery reportedly followed years of excessive toothbrushing, which Kelly described as a good-bad habit. She had apparently been advised to undergo the procedure earlier, but delayed it for several years before eventually moving forward. Her recovery temporarily kept her away from Live with Kelly and Mark. That chapter has made her recent comments about everyday habits even more interesting. Kelly is clearly someone who pays attention to her routines. She thinks about what she puts on her skin, how she takes care of her teeth, and what products she uses. But her shower oil story reveals a different kind of concern. This time is not about whether the product is good for her. It is about whether the product could make her environment unsafe. And that distinction is important. Beauty products are designed to make people feel better, cleaner, and more comfortable. But when they create a physical hazard, the benefits can quickly seem less important. For Kelly, the solution appears remarkably simple. Get rid of it. Why take the risk? Of course, her comments were delivered with humor rather than as a serious warning that the product is inherently dangerous. There is no reason to assume that every shower oil is unsafe or that using one will automatically cause someone to fall. The bigger point is simply that slippery surfaces require caution. Kelly's dramatic prediction is part of the joke, and that is where viewers need to separate the entertainment from a practical lesson. The story is not really about a celebrity believing that a shower product is going to kill her. It is about Kelly noticing something that makes her uncomfortable and turning that observation into a funny story. Her obituary comment adds the dramatic punchline. It also shows how quickly her mind can turn a small inconvenience into a hilarious hypothetical scenario. That is classic Kelly Ripa. Fans have responded to this kind of storytelling for years because she often says what many people think but would never actually say out loud. How many people have stood in the shower and suddenly realized the floor is far too slippery? How many have nearly lost their balance while reaching for a shampoo bottle? How many have decided that a particular household product is simply not worth the hassle? Kelly's story gives those ordinary experiences a spotlight, and it may even make viewers look at their own bathrooms differently. Perhaps after hearing Kelly talk about her slippery shower oil, some people will suddenly become much more aware of what is happening under their feet. That is not necessarily a bad thing. Bathrooms can be hazardous environments, particularly when water, oils, and smooth surfaces are involved. Simple precautions such as wiping up spills, keeping floors as dry as possible, and using appropriate non-slip surfaces can reduce the chance of accidents. Kelly may have been joking, but the underlying issue is certainly recognizable. There is also something charming about the fact that a celebrity with access to countless luxury products can ultimately decide that one of them is simply not worth it. Sometimes the expensive option is not the best option. Sometimes the simplest routine works better. And sometimes, as Kelly appears to have discovered, the most luxurious product in your bathroom is the one you decide not to use. Looking ahead, Kelly's fans can probably expect more stories like this. Her conversations often move between serious topics and completely unexpected everyday observations. One minute she could be talking about work, family, or health, and the next she is discussing a beauty product that she believes could become the subject of her obituary. That unpredictability is part of what keeps her conversations entertaining. It also explains why even small comments can become headlines. Kelly does not necessarily need a major celebrity scandal or dramatic announcement